4 reasons why Rhea Ripley needs to defeat Liv Morgan on WWE RAW. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan's personal rivalry has been one of the most compelling stories in WWE for months. Ripley, a former women's world champion, was forced to relinquish her title after suffering an injury following WrestleMania XL. Meanwhile, Liv Morgan emerged victorious at King and Queen of the Ring in May by defeating Becky Lynch to capture the Women's World Championship, marking the beginning of one of the most defining periods of her career. However, the tension between Ripley and Morgan reached new heights when Dominic Mysterio, who had been involved in a storyline relationship with Ripley, betrayed her at SummerSlam. This shocking act helped Morgan retain her championship. As the two women prepare for their highly anticipated showdown on the debut episode of WWE RAW on Netflix, the stakes have never been higher. Morgan will defend the Women's World Championship against the Eradicator, Rhea Ripley. There are several reasons why Rhea Ripley needs to win the title from Liv Morgan next week, and here's why it makes perfect sense for the future of the women's division in WWE. 1. Rhea Ripley deserves to enter WrestleMania as a champion. Rhea Ripley has firmly established herself as one of WWE's biggest stars, transcending the women's division. She has captivated fans with her power, dominance, and unique style. Ripley has become a household name, and her presence on the grand stage is expected at every WWE event. With WrestleMania 41 set to take place in Las Vegas next year, it's only fitting that Ripley walks into the event as the women's world champion. While Liv Morgan has done an excellent job as champion, holding the title since her win in May, the company likely has bigger plans for Ripley. Having Ripley as the reigning champion heading into WrestleMania would set the stage for a major championship match that fans would eagerly anticipate. Ripley's return to championship glory would also elevate the women's division to new heights and provide the perfect storyline for WrestleMania. 2. Ripley never lost a title. Before being forced to relinquish the Women's World Championship due to injury, Rhea Ripley held the title for an impressive 380 days. Her reign was dominant, and she defeated the likes of Becky Lynch at WrestleMania to solidify her place as a top champion. Ripley's reign was cut short, not by defeat, but by injury, something she had no control over. Ripley's loss of the title was not a result of her being outperformed or outmatched, but rather the unfortunate circumstances of her injury. Now that she has had time to recover and is back in action, it's time for Ripley to reclaim what was once hers. Liv Morgan's mocking of Ripley's injury and the brutal attack that caused Ripley to miss time have only made this title match more personal. Ripley needs to defeat Morgan to restore her legacy and reassert her dominance as the top star in WWE's women's division. 3. Rhea Ripley needs to reestablish herself as the biggest threat. Ripley's absence due to injury allowed other stars, including Liv Morgan, to shine in the spotlight. While Morgan has capitalized on this opportunity, it's clear that Ripley is a bigger threat in the women's division. She has proven time and time again that she can stand toe-to-toe with the best, and a victory over Morgan will solidify her status as the most dangerous force on WWE RAW. Ripley's return and potential title win would send a message to the entire women's division that she is back and ready to reclaim her spot at the top. A dominant victory over Morgan would reestablish her as the true powerhouse of the division and the one to watch heading into WrestleMania 41. 4. The women's division needs Ripley as the champion. Finally, WWE needs Ripley to be the champion in order to fully showcase the depth of talent in the women's division. With her hard-hitting style, charisma, and undeniable presence, Ripley is the perfect champion to lead the division into the future. A title reign with Ripley as champion would bring fresh storylines, new rivalries, and further elevate the women's division to new heights. As the women's division continues to grow, Ripley's leadership and championship reign would provide the foundation for future rivalries and matchups. A title win next week would help set the stage for an exciting year in WWE, with Ripley at the helm. Conclusion: Rhea Ripley's potential victory over Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship is essential for the future of WWE's women's division. Ripley has proven herself to be a dominant force, and her return to the top would help elevate the entire division. Fans are eager to see Ripley reclaim the title she never lost and head into WrestleMania as the reigning champion. It's time for Ripley to take her rightful place as the top star in the women's division, and next week, she has the perfect opportunity to do so. The Judgment Day's future may be in flux following recent turmoil. In recent weeks, the Judgment Day faction has been experiencing considerable internal strife, creating uncertainty about their future direction in WWE. Finn Balor, once the dominant figure in the faction, has seen his ego take a significant blow after a series of defeats. Following his failure to capture the World Heavyweight Championship at Saturday night's main event, Balor suffered another setback when he and Damian Priest lost the World Tag Team Championship to the War Raiders on the subsequent episode of Raw. These losses have raised questions about Balor's standing within the Judgment Day and the group's overall trajectory. Meanwhile, Liv Morgan remains the only champion in the Judgment Day, holding the Women's World Championship. However, her reign is now under serious threat, particularly with next week's pivotal match on Raw, where she will defend her title. The company's recent move to debut a new theme song for the Judgment Day may signal a desire to revamp the faction and its dynamics. These changes, along with Morgan's looming title defense, could spell further turmoil for the group. If Morgan loses her championship, it could add fuel to the fire of dissension within the Judgment Day. Morgan's potential departure from the faction seems like a real possibility, as internal divisions threaten to unravel the once powerful group. Her exit could leave a gaping hole in the faction, which has already been reeling from its recent losses, creating further friction among the remaining members. Rhea Ripley must end her rivalry with Liv Morgan once and for all. Amidst this chaos, the bitter rivalry between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan has become one of the hottest storylines in WWE. Over the past few months, their feud has taken a more personal turn, with Morgan successfully driving a wedge between Ripley and the Judgment Day. Morgan has managed to peel away Dominic Mysterio and other key members of the faction, turning the tables on Ripley and further fueling the animosity between the two. Next week on Raw, Ripley has the opportunity to finally settle the score with Morgan and end this rivalry once and for all. For Ripley, this match is critical, not just to reclaim her faction's lost dominance, but to solidify her place as a top contender and end any lingering doubts about her superiority. A decisive victory over Morgan could leave no room for a rematch, as Ripley would prove, once and for all, that she is the dominant force in the division